Oh, yeah! Happy Comic Book Day, and thank you to Bad Mary for that. Ooh, too sweet play-in. Welcome all you four-color funny book aficionados. This is U.S. Comics Cast, Chapter 2, Episode 25. Two topics, 60 minutes for the people. Yo soy Jon Rivera, the CEO and co-founder of U.S. Comics. All right.
And I am your hybrid panda, the COO of U.S. Comics and the most electrified co-host of U.S. Comics Cast in all the multiverse. Happy Comic Book Day, brother! How are you doing, my dude?
Charlie, happy Comic Book Day to you as well as also. I have to say, I am not too F. Murray Abraham good.
What?
I am not too good. And there's a lot of good going on in the world right now, in the Johniverse, in the Charlieverse. But you know what? Sometimes it's like that. It's very Shakespearean, so to speak. You only let your leading character, clearly that's me, you only let your leading character achieve so much happiness, so much satisfaction before you reel him in a little bit. You turn the page, and all of a sudden, Caesar is taking 127 daggers to the back. And that is how I felt when my home away from home Detective Comics, not DC Comics, Detective Comics, just DC, dum-dums. It's an ATM, not an ATM machine. DC did me dirty, bro. It didn't just do me dirty, I realize. It certainly didn't do me as dirty as it did poor Catwoman.
Ooh.
She's just trying to get her little swagger on, and DC said, nope. Keep it in your pants, you feline little dirty biatch.
No fun for you. What the hell is wrong with them?
The deuce is going on over there? And I'm not even talking about their much and rightfully maligned cinematic universe. I'm not, maligned, it's a word, look it up. I'm not talking about their questionable reprint decisions. I'm not talking about the extraneous use of DC Comics, kind of repetitive, don't we think? No, I am talking about their antiquated, sex negative way of going about business right now. Clearly, if anyone doesn't know what Charlie and I are rambling on about, please educate yourself, you dum-dums. So the insanely and rightfully so popular HBO Max series Harley Quinn had a scripted scene. I don't know if it got as far as animation before they put the kibosh on it.
Let's dig that up if they did.
So, that is a sell that is going to sell on the secondary market like hotcakes.
That is the one version of the Snyder Cut Jon will allow.
Yeah, so they had a scene planned out where, and I want to be careful because I realize our viewership kind of runs the gamut. I don't know, Charlie, the proper terminology. I'm just gonna roll with this. Where our boy Bruce Wayne, Batman himself, who was in a long-term amorous affair with Catwoman, who's kind of at this point kind of like an anti-hero, or as close to that as DC gets. Where they're rounding second and headed to third base. I'll put it that way for any of the tender ears that might be out there. Yeah. So this was intended to be seen on screen for obvious reasons. Look, it's not a hookup. I'll put it this way: they put the kibosh on that, but they didn't put the kibosh on Batman hooking up with Batgirl on the rooftop. He kicks her out of the damn team. I work alone. Yeah, you got 52 apprentices and interns, unpaid interns, Batman. No wonder you're rich. Typical capitalist. So he kicks poor Barbara out of the team, and they're like, "Oh, I hate you, I love you, I love you." And then he smashes the bejesus out of her
Which
up
is
on the rooftop.
that's so gross. That's like your
Cringy
at
worthy.
at minimum, that is your niece. At maximum, that's borderline your daughter. You
Dude,
creep.
Forget
You
about
creep.
the lining up the family tree. That's a call to HR, sir, because you are in a places of authority. She is your underling, so to speak, and they try to kind of sweeten that up because there was a rightful backlash about all that. Oh yeah, this was her going out of her comfort zone. I bet. When the tights and the drawers came off, and I'm talking about Batman, I'm not talking about her. I'm sure it was uncomfortable. Look, so this is something that they were okay with. Never mind the fact that, look, the bottom line is this. Their excuse for saying, no, we can't go quite that far is that, look, we've got to go ahead and turn around and sell toys for this. Really?
Now
Who has sold more toys than the good folks over at Lucas? And they had the damn guy kissing his sister. You kidding me? Poor Batman can't kiss the cat.
So
South
just
of the border.
So just to further illustrate without crossing the line, Batman will kiss her on the forehead to the navel and the thigh to the toe. But there's a middle section that suddenly Bats doesn't drop for. Now, first and first, mostly, you're telling me a guy who's mastered every skill, right? Mr. OP himself, Batman, about 2 weeks away from flying because he has so many overhyped skills. He didn't go to like Larry Zillingham from Connecticut, who knows.
He did all of his training in the Far East. And the bottom line is that over there they had an empress who encouraged her the people to go ahead and sniff the lotus flower. So I don't think that really you need to be the world's greatest detective to crack that case. Give me a damn break, Charlie. You're right. Ra's al Ghul should have told him, "Look, you want to be a generous lover. There's one thing you got to do, my friend. You got to go to the well." And I'm not talking about this well, all right?
You spell the alphabet. That's all you do. I can help you out, Bruce. Give a chubby Puerto Rican a call if you're so nervous. Now, it does beg the question because, again, a lot of people having a lot of fun with this, but legitimately, I think it's quite sincerely screwed up. I think it is a bad, it left a bad taste in my mouth. Just because the notion of like sexuality is fine, but suddenly like, no, well, not that, not something that's just for her. Cause you're telling me, again, don't make me name some of my favorite sirens. We've all seen, and just stick with me for a second. This is going to sound like I'm going left, but I'm not. We've seen Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon, and you know they're going to get down. You're telling me
back of the motorcycle.
Now, I'm not saying I'm going to stand here on the platform that I've co-created with you, and I will say, now I have no doubt in my mind that were these characters to be real, well, my friend, Dick Grayson's not only the more generous lover, but he's definitely the better lover. He's like Batman, but better. That's just what he does.
What's wrong with you?
What is wrong with me?
You come out of left field swinging for the fences on poor Peter Parker, and now you're talking about
another
Bruce
guy
Wayne,
that definitely doesn't go down. That I'll co-sign.
The famous Lothario Bruce Wayne. He's got more girls than he has bucks in the bank. Yeah, look, don't make me a defender of this guy.
All I'm saying, let me ask you a question.
Right?
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
In Batman's illustrious career of allegedly slaying left and right the ladies, and God bless him, probably a couple fellas, do you think, just if you were to put your money on it, you think he is a better lover than, let's say, Hal Jordan? I'm going
to answer that question with a question. And that question is, Charlie,
Yeah, I have
what
them
the hell
itinerized.
is wrong with you, man? This is like the Senate, the Senate meetings. Look, you're like, I don't want to go left, but you basically went left like they did in Dumb and Dumber, and then I woke up and like, it's a lot flatter than I thought. This doesn't look like Colorado. No, the bottom line is this: whether you think that Bruce or Dick is a better lover is not the point. I know which one you're rooting for. Wink, wink. But that's really not the point. The bottom line is this: is that Detective Comics, there are only a few things that I hate in this world. For the most part, I'm a pretty laid back, easygoing guy. I hate bullies. I hate hypocrites, and I hate the meatpacking industry. But that's an entirely different topic altogether. Talk about going left. I hate hypocrisy. It is the fucking worst. It's the type of thing that can take me out of any vehicle. It could take me out of any mood. It could take me out of any damn thing that you put in front of me when there's some hypocrisy floating around like stink on the water. And the bottom line is this: Harley Quinn series on HBO Max is not for children. It's not for children. So you want to go ahead and turn around and say, well, we have to sell toys. Sell your damn toys, man. Sell your toys. They made a Rambo toy. Rambo is one of the greatest mass murderers that the cinema has ever seen. And I'm all for it. I had all of them. Right? That's all well and good. But look, you want to be a 2021 company. You want to be all about inclusion and representation, and you want to make sure that you're on the right side of history. Yeah, here's one for you, DC. Maybe try being sex positive, because that is a big damn issue right now.
It's also absurd that that's the line. If you've watched more than 10 minutes of the Harley Quinn show, you're like, oh, well, what we don't want is the bat having some cat. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Everybody loves the Harley Quinn show on HBO Max, and rightfully so. I include myself in that equation. But the bottom line is this: you are putting yourself out there and saying that everything else that we're showing, that's okay. That's fine. That's not going to affect the bottom line. But this particular instance is third base coast is, just round those bases, son. Bring it in, Bruce. Bring it in. And they're like, nah. There's firing a freaking home run shot, a rocket from left field, and getting him out. Look, the other thing is this: the Harley Quinn series is also insanely violent. You had no problem showing Batman the murderer in the Snyderverse. That didn't affect your toy sales, did it? No, that's fine. You have all this bad language, the violence, and I'm a violence profiteer personally. I am all for it. I just hate the hypocrisy. So they're saying, no. All this violence is fine. All this cursing is okay. All of this killing, perfect. Do it like you meant to, right? But if we have somebody at third base, nah. Where's Abbott and Costello to walk me through this one? It is total bullsugar.
It is total bullsugar, but I will throw it out to our comment section because I love them. Imagine what Green Lantern would do with that power ring in the sack. Paul, not only did I imagine it, I have a spec script. If we want to relaunch Green Lantern cinematically in a new and brave way, I think, Paul, you could come on and executive produce. Also out of the comment section, Batman has 2 rules: good, not great. What was great, though, was because it's the sexual favor she deserves, but not the one she needs right now. Oh, our comment section makes my heart sing.
Hate that voice, even in mocking. Good Lord, Christian Bale, you owe me money.
Did you know that he auditioned with the voice, and that's why? Shut up! It was a bad goddamn choice. But my brother, you are an authority on a lot of things. So if anyone can officially pass judgment, we'll throw aside all the side banter that I would normally run into about who does and who doesn't. We all know Superman's probably such a proficient lover that he satisfies his wife and then flies off and stops a mountain from crushing a small town.
You ever heard of an Eskimo kiss? Sure, of course. Do you know what a Kryptonian kiss is? Bro, they are a scientific community. They say hello, you hello to. You're like, well, shit, I guess I'm welcome here.
Ladies and gentlemen who are in love with the new Supergirl actress as much as I am, understand that Kryptonian Kiss is now canon in my mind. It is decided. You know, I do not think we need to harp too much on this. The bottom line is this is one of the many instances where a creator or something or a creative team or people currently in charge of a creation simply have it wrong. Most famously,
They got it wrong.
And bottom line is they're liars, just like one Mr. George Toy Boy Lucas, because George Lucas is a liar.
George, you lying son of a bitch.
Because Han shot first.
Clinky, clinky.
Slanja. Oh! So now that we're rolling with the DC new and the DC good, my dude, start my time. Boop. So, we're talking DC and all the places they won't go, but way more
comics.
But way more interesting for me is where DC Comics, where DC, I just did the thing you hate, where the DC cinematic universe is going. We know they have a lot of ground to cover and they have to make some big changes, and we're seeing every day new content. Brand new Suicide Squad trailer dropped. I know some people feel like it's still lacking something. I totally disagree. That trailer is,
these people internet. I put them on the stand like you put poor Spidey.
Well, Spider-Man had it coming, but I personally...
So the Catwoman. Hey-o!
I completely have nothing but excitement about Suicide Squad, and just recently I've gotten more and more, if nothing else, wildly optimistic and childishly excited for the new Flash movie. Normally, I hate... oh, comment section, you did it again. DC stands for Don't Cunnilingus. That's a shirt. We may have to make that a shirt. Oh,
Ellis,
God.
Somebody owes you money. Not me. Somebody owes Ellis money on that one. That is very good.
Amazing. So, like I was saying, I'm not usually one for a ton of leaked pictures, but I could not avoid it this week with the leaked pictures from Flash. Not even leaked. They were just on set, and where there's sets with extras and sets with people, cameras are going to go off.
The first picture they took from like a different state.
That's true.
Ridiculous.
But we'll start with the man himself. After last week's Batman teaser showing the old suit with the blood like it was a Watchmen logo, we saw what Michael Keaton as Old Man Bats would look, and holy crap, that hairpiece is amazing. He has a full head of gray hair, just like Bats would, minus the parts that Catwoman has fiendishly pulled out from excitement and ecstasy, because in the Burton verse, we know Batman goes down. What did you, cut the feed, what did you think of, we'll start off with Bats. How excited were you to see him back in action with that freaking just chiseled face, just looking.
He looks great. He looks exactly as if the Burton Batman franchise just kept rolling on. Like if they did a 007 situation and they just spat out a movie every 5 to 10 years.
The moment I saw him,
he looked great. He looked great. But you know, though, I'm the first one to admit when I'm right, and I have to say that I was right yet again, because I had that singular thought watching him play Vulture, was that the dude looks great. He looks great. He almost to the point where if you did want to do the Batman Beyond story that we're all desperate to see up on the big screen, you would almost have to like age him up, right? You'd have to slant over, like you know, it would almost be as if Beetlejuice had his way with him, because as it is now, I wouldn't throw that down with the guy in the freaking bar. I'm like, look, I bumped into you, my friend. I am very sorry. The only category I have him beat in is in my natural hair. I don't need all that business up on top, fake motherfucker. Anyways, he looks
Yeah,
great, and I knew he was gonna look great.
he looked so great, and I'm just so excited to see what the future can hold with him. And then of course we get then of course we get our first look at a bold new take on Supergirl in live action form. She has short jet black hair. She's looking just delicious. Not that that's the most important thing, but I'm gonna call it like I see it. I immediately was
Email
even more in love.
U.S. Comics HQ for any complaints on Charlie being inappropriate.
I'm so excited, even in that kind of wired harness to make her fly without seeing the cape CG and it being a costume. Frankly, if you lined up a million versions of the costume, it would have never been the one I picked. But again, it's just so exciting to see that this Flash movie is.
You don't like feety pajamas?
I don't love feety pajamas. I did really like the shield design that they chose for her. With that being said, seeing how big this world is going to be, and we always knew it was, I just can't help but start daydreaming about what's going to happen with the DC universe now that, for lack of a better word, the gloves are somewhat off. We've already seen in the Suicide Squad trailer, they made it very clear there's stuff that happened in the DC universe we haven't seen. And big stuff. Superman went to the ICU because he was shot with a kryptonite bullet. A wonderful world building line. I know some people were like, fucking Superman can't catch a break, and I agree. But regardless, there should be, in a universe that's supposed to be so established, we're on our second Suicide Squad movie, I want there to be stories that we only get glimpses of. I'm fine that a Robin is dead. I didn't love the way that they kind of depicted it, and I would love to know more, but we live in a world where maybe we'll see more. But now with clearly Flashpoint happening, my two big questions for you, and I'll spoil them before I start talking about one of mine, because I don't care what order you answered in, but I'm really curious where you think they're going to go. Not what you want to see, but what you think they're setting up for. And then I very much want to know what you think they're doing. I'll start off, though, so you can kind of let it process a bit. This is clearly going to be a replacement chapter one almost. This is going to be the movie that fully says, what did you like already? That counts. What did you not like? That don't count. Because they're going to be able to, again, they're putting their flag in the on the castle saying like, everything good? Yes. Everything bad? No. And almost, I predict them not making it super clear who is Batman, who is Super. They're kind of saying they all count and none of them count.
You know, far be it from me to correct you, but here it comes. Those are not the same thing, right? So like saying everything you liked, that's going to be now canon, and everything you didn't like, forget about it. That's not what they're saying. What Flashpoint is clearly going to be doing is saying everything counts. Everything counts. To a degree. What we're showing you again, though, is the stuff that you said you loved. Not even necessarily on paper, if you were going to grade everything like the best stuff, because we can agree there's some stuff that they put out there that's just great, but that just doesn't hit, in a larger picture sense of the word. So I think what's going to end up happening, it's almost like when you have a show that has been on the air for multiple years, they're always eventually going to have that highlights episode, right? Maybe you'll get like 2, 3, 4 minutes of new footage, and it'll just be them sitting around on the couch sipping a lobster and like, hey, remember that time the lobster thing caught on your Schwartz? That was hilarious. And then all of a sudden you cut to Schwartz, lobster swinging from Little Charlie's. I should have trimmed, right? So those are those moments that we're going to be literally running into with the Flashpoint movie. Obviously, there's going to be a larger overarching story that's going to be kind of the point of all of that stuff, all of the revisiting. But very much so, I think what's going to happen is it's kind of going to be a highlight reel of the DC material that we have gotten thus far. Now, what I do predict, however, is that what Flashpoint is going to allow us to do is then cherry pick more so where they want it to go, because we might get iterations of particular characters that we literally haven't met yet, being the ones that are going to carry the torch moving forward. Who's not to say that that sparkling Robert Pattinson Batman is actually going to be the larger overarching Batman that's going to move us forward. We just simply don't know at this point. And I have to say, I love that. I love that because for the first time in maybe ever, I have something to look forward to where I can be not even cautiously optimistic, just optimistic, right? Because it's not a sin to fail, right? The sin is to just keep on making the same mistakes over and over again. It's okay to fall, but you got to get up. Every comic book in the universe has taught me these things. And Don Quixote, maybe the very first comic book, he said, the definition of madness is thinking like that too much sanity is the ultimate madness. They worked so hard well, seemingly they tried to lace everything together and these connections and blah blah blah, and it was a complete failure. So the only real mistake that they can make at this point would be like, nope, that's the road that we're on. Nah, it's bullshit. That's how you keep Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman while recasting Batman 52 times. That's how you're able to do this magic that comic books can do.
See, what I think though, like I personally think the direction they're going is not to unify. I think what they're going to do is I think they're going to have a unified Earth, a new Earth 1 that'll have some actors cast once again in their like I think Gal is in the Snyderverse and she'll also be playing Wonder Woman in the new Earth 1 universe, but I think they're not going to do that thing where the rest of the multiverse is gone. I think they're going to go out of their way. Okay, just making sure we're on the same page.
No. Like I said, they are protecting everything by saying everything is canon, everything counts.
Yeah,
we're going down this road now, and they're gonna be able to cherry pick the shit that they like. The people, obviously, Chris Reeve can't go along for the ride, but the things that they want to go ahead and move forward with, they can basically, and Marvel has the exact same opportunity, and obviously with the multiverse of madness, I clearly think that that's what they're going to be doing as well. They're able to move forward with just like a best of episode under their arm, and then saying, and now we're going to add this to it and this to it, and so on and so forth. My question, I'm going to throw you a question back.
Please.
Ooh, my backhand in tennis is strong, right? My question to you, Charlie, is if you're going to have a collection of these parts, because they still want to have sequels to Aquaman and sequels to Wonder Woman and sequels to Flash, and if he can ever get his foot out of his mouth, maybe even a Cyborg movie. My question to you, Charlie, is what kind of a combination tale are they going to tell at this point? Are they only going to bring people back together to face some big bad? If so, then at what point are they going to start dropping little Easter eggs for us home detectives to start putting two and two together? Like, what do you think is going to bring everything back?
I think what I really think they're going to do is I think this Flash universe, the Earth 1 that keeps Ezra Miller as the Flash, I actually don't think it's going to have I don't think it's going to have some of our favorites as their characters. I think we're going to see a new Arthur Curry. I think we're going to see a new Batman. I think we're going to see a new Superman. And that,
you think everybody's going to be replaced?
I think what you're going to have with the Ezra Miller verse, I think Ezra Miller, I believe, is going to get somewhat snatched out of the Snyderverse, and I think he's going to be plucked into this new universe with characters that can almost exist as the Justice League moving forward. And then when you have your Wonder Woman movie, when you unveil Wonder Woman 3, probably Wonder Woman 3D, they'll be able to launch it from a point of like, okay, for your Wonder Woman universe, what do you want of the slate that existed? So I think we're going to have almost pocket dimensions. So I think Wonder Woman's going to get her own crew that might have some overlap. Arthur may have, and this will be the way that they avoid needing to put the Justice League together for every mission, because Arthur could be, you're not going to say where the fuck is Batman in Aquaman 2, because in Aquaman's universe maybe he doesn't know Batman, and you could redefine it midstream.
There is a Batman in that universe, so
sure,
there would have to be then.
Well, that I think all the Earths in the multiverse wind up fractured the same way Flash's will be. So if Flash winds up in a universe with, let's say, old man Michael Keaton as Batman, so now Batman's been around for 40 fucking years, and now he's old, and Flash is like, the fuck is this shit? His whole universe can be built in that, on that Earth. When we get Aquaman 2, Electric Boogaloo, things don't necessarily have to one-to-one connect to his first outing, because a Flashpoint happened. So all these Earths are fucking scrambled now. I think they're going to go that extreme with it, because we know, allegedly, Pattinson's Batman universe exists on its own, but they never said that that's a world without other heroes.
But I think does Joker.
Exactly right. So what you could do with both of those franchises post-Flashpoint is you could make big changes. Right now, they can exist on their own, and then post-Flashpoint, guess what? The Joker from the movie Joker is Pattinson's Joker. Watch them fight now. I think it opens them back up to what everyone complained with DC. DC was so focused in on getting to Justice League that they didn't really build very interesting characters to then have assembled. It's almost like the clean slate protocol when Tony Stark blew up all his Iron Man suits, which made no goddamn sense. You're in essence doing that, and you're saying, okay, the Gal movie, what do you want? What do you need? So if they
didn't make sense is naming them all Mark. That was just dumb. Like George Foreman naming all his kids George. Freaking Iron Man did the exact same thing.
Well,
I gotta say, Charlie, not to cut off your ramble.
Yeah, please.
I don't think that that's the case. I think you're giving them way too much credit.
I always do.
You're giving them the credit that they sat down and spread out everything, and like they did like a Charlie, not a you Charlie, Philadelphia Charlie, up on the wall with the red yarn connecting everything. No, I don't think they're doing that at all.
You think they're just gonna make bastards, Ezra Miller's Flash, Pete Jones is Cyborg?
I think that they have no imminent plans for getting the league back together again.
Okay.
What I think is very simple. They're going to be AAing it. They're going to be taking it a day at a time, and they're going to see what sticks. Because, for example, as much as I don't care for the DC television, with the exception of the Superman and Lois show, I'm actually pretty into that. What I think is going to end up happening is, well, we know for a fact that that Grant Gustin is going to show up in this flick, right? In the same way that Ezra Miller showed up on the show. So they've kind of called their shot in that sense. I think what's going to happen is moving forward, you will have an interweaving, and maybe maybe you will go ahead and have there'll be something to the fact of like a restructuring of maybe the first time, Paul. It's a restructuring of the world as we know it, but that's not interesting at all. So in other words, what you're saying is we're going to get Justice League, blah blah blah, and then a complete recasting. You want to talk about like no character building? That's the definition of the term.
Well, no,
so you'd have to have versions coming from some damn place, or wait 10 years to put out your team.
Well, I just don't think, and again, maybe this is where my optimism reveals itself for pessimism. I do not think they're going to go too long without those three magic letters on a poster. And I think the easiest way to do it, and probably the smarter way to do it, considering that they've been proven to not have any goddamn patience, is by saying like, Ezra Miller's the Flash and Michael Keaton's old man Batman, and we got this guy. I think
won't do that. They barely were able to get Michael Keaton to come on for this cameo.
But maybe
I don't foresee that
maybe
happening.
the reveal is Ezra Miller is going to be running around with a Batman Beyond, who allegedly is going to be a Batwoman Beyond. Is a rumor I read this week is that Terry is going to spell that with an I.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
I
The
just
other thing is, it's important to keep in mind, like throwing back to the actual Flashpoint series, is that these weren't like time isn't frozen in these concurrent realities. They're all moving forward. Maybe not necessarily moving forward at the same rate, like a black hole situation, but they're all still moving forward. So that's the reason why the Michael Keaton that we're getting is older.
because it
By the
started.
time,
Yeah.
right? Because it still started when it damn started. I don't know. I
I just
really
think the
honestly
way
can't
I
foresee
yeah.
the next time that they.
What would you do? What would you do?
But I've already told you what I was gonna do. What I would do. What needs to be done at this stage of the game is, if you do want to build forward cohesively with a group, you need to explain away their individual adventures. So the Johnverse works very, very simply. You have Superman exclusively set in a period piece for his entire, for his entire franchise as a standalone. To the point where when the time catches up, the timeline catches up to where we are now. When we get our that Superman in these days, Perry is gone and Lois is gone and Jimmy is gone, which is great because you don't have to explain them away. He can just be Superman at this point. And when you have a team flick, the fact of the matter is you
That's
don't have
better.
that much time to, usually in a team flick, you can really only character evolve one character and maybe the villain.
Yeah.
The fact that everyone else is just kind of set.
That's always the headache. Now, do you think they could get to a place like that with Flashpoint?
Yeah, if they hire me, of course they could.
Well, I mean, the movie's currently being made, so I don't know if they'll
that's
do
fine.
that.
They can have a car here in like half an hour, dude. I'm half packed. I got my my jump bag is always ready to go. I even have snack bars in there.
If they went the boring route, who would be your team? So this new movie says, okay, these are the new ones we're going to focus on. Who are you choosing out of the lineup available? Let's pretend everyone was available and you had an unlimited budget.
I don't know. You tell who's your team if you could put together the Justice League right now.
I feel bad saying this.
I
would definitely, I would replace Momoa for someone who looked a little bit more like the.
Watch Charlie's pupils as he panics to name characters. Please, interesting.
To
go
name
ahead,
characters.
Please go on. We're all.
What is this?
Edge of our seat.
What is this evil douchebag John version I got?
I'm still stuck in our opposing lawyers situation. So no, please, Charlie, go ahead. Tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury who's your fantasy.
That was weeks ago. Just because Spider-Man taught you to read, I learned this week.
Yeah, Michael Keaton's Batman was fucking decades ago. That ain't stopping them. Let's go. All right, so you're gonna replace Momoa.
So I would replace Momoa again. Anyone who looked more like Aquaman and could play it. I'm not gonna pluck an actor. I feel like I would have to keep Ezra Miller, but I would, if I had my druthers, I'd replace him too.
He's the linchpin of this new this new concept.
I would probably of the originals. I would, if I had my druthers, I would keep. I would have to keep Ezra, but then I would choose to keep Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot, and I'd recast everyone else, and I'd build around those three. The most, I keep Amanda Waller.
The love affair.
I'd keep Harley.
With Big Ben is it's bulletproof to the point where kryptonite could not freaking penetrate that.
Wait, can I have Ben play Superman too? We'll get him the high waist.
Technically, he played George Reeves, so I mean, we've seen him with the S on his chest. So it's a possibility.
Yeah, I like those tend to be the ones that pop into my head. As I'd keep Captain Boomerang because I love him. Maybe I'll get rid of some of the stupid tattoos. I'll keep King Shark. Some of those extras.
Yeah, but that's we haven't clearly defined where what universe.
That's true, especially this. Yeah, I mean they share Amanda Waller, but that doesn't mean anything because you could have Amanda Waller pop up all in.
That's
true.
Probably more more
No,
importantly.
Amanda Waller's in more of that movie than Harley Quinn.
Yeah, but
I'm just kidding.
Harley Quinn actually
I'm
gets
just kidding
down.
because
Not like
I
some people.
on guys and girls because she's like Loki. Hey, internet, stop being mad at people who like same gender
We
stuff.
we screamed at the top of our lungs for as long and as loud as we possibly could to finally get Poison Ivy and Harley together, and then they pulled this nonsense on us. Unfreaking believable. So
You know, it'd
just
be great though. They should rewrite it so that Catwoman leaves Batman for like any
for
fucking
that
body
reason,
else because of that. Be like, he doesn't drop. Fuck this guy. There's no knee pads in the Batsuit. Fuck this
he is
jabron.
a selfish lover. No, what I would do is if I was going to take the Charlie route and saying like we're going to get a magic trick, instant, just add water, Justice League. I would probably go ahead and populate that team, not necessarily with like A-listers or up and coming A-listers the way that they kind of have thus far. You need to have that type of weight to carry these solo movies and franchises. But if you're gonna go ahead and have a damn team, almost to the same degree that really that Guardians of the Galaxy did, right? When they rolled out names, but not like
Yeah, not mega
not like
stars.
super uber. So I would probably do something like this, like that. But just to keep it in the family, I would go ahead and cast Roman Reigns as Aquaman,
Bum, bum,
especially if you
bum,
want to have
bum.
like a variation of
That's not
Momoa,
bad.
but like doesn't really need to. They're not going to be winning any Oscars anytime soon. Just like keep it shredded. Do not eat any carbs, and maybe pretend like you could swim and hold your breath. I would cast like that, almost like doppelgangers. That's how I would
That's not
do it, and
bad. What
that'll
about? Do you
allow you
think?
to tell an overarching story without worrying about and he's allergic to tuna. That's so ironic.
Do you think that that guy from The Witcher is available to play Superman? Hey, it's the same guy. I don't know stuff, and that is my time.
Fucking guy.
My dear, handsome, delicious brother. Great feedback. I hope you're right personally. I do also hope that they have the balls to do some of the stuff I want them to do.
I'm officially in an I don't know place, and I have never been more comfortable with it. This
It's
is the
fun.
analogy that I meant to make because we went far too long before an analogy. Analogy of the day. Bang bang. This is like when you fought every impulse that the devil on your shoulder whispered into your ear of tearing little corners of wrapping paper on your Christmas presents so that like, oh, what's waiting for me under the tree Christmas morning? You fought that impulse.
Supergirl, old
You fought the
Batman.
impulse, and then you wake up Christmas morning and you legitimately have no freaking idea who's waiting for you under the tree. If indeed that Red Rider BB gun with a compass in the stock and this thing which tells time is waiting for you, and you get to rip to your heart's content. That's how I feel about what's upcoming now. I really do.
I like
and
your
Ezra
style.
Miller getting us to December 25th.
Before we pay some bills, our boy Paul over in the YouTube chat has the best idea ever. You bring in Roman Reigns as the new Aquaman. You move Momoa over to Lobo. That is a win-win-win-win-win.
Paul,
And
Paul
I love
is
it.
as handsome as he is smart. But I do have to say this, Paul. I made that call months ago, damn it.
It's Paul's call now.
I wanted Momoa as Lobo before Momoa was dating Rock Royalty's children. I wanted that from day freaking one. But you know what though? This is gonna allow for maybe clever recasting. Maybe we can go ahead and pull a Chris Evans and say, you know what, you were fine as Johnny Storm. Bam! Now you're Captain America, son. So
Yeah, that
I
would.
think, again, possibilities are endless right now.
That's true. And endless possibilities are always a good thing, except when it comes to our lovely sponsors. Because, my dear brother, let's pay some fucking bills.
You are never going to be able to pay the bill for that transition. Oh, you morning TV host, I'm a bitch.
My dear
Ugh.
brother, take it away. Who's our first sponsor this week?
Look, I think you know, and if you don't know, you better ask somebody because we got to give credit where credit's due. One of our original sponsors, fan number one, right here on Facebook Gaming, it is Sergeant Finesse. 2 streams a day, outstanding gaming content, supporter games, giveaways, contests. Do not be a sucker. I said don't be a sucker. Check them out today. Throw them a like, a follow. Consider becoming a supporter. If you need to pick me up, do like I do. Follow the white rabbit over to sneakenergy.com. Use code SGT at checkout. If you're looking for some fresh new gear, you want to put in an application to Cobra, the best and only terrorist organization that I can get behind because, frankly, their fashion sense is second to none. Go ahead over to geeksunleashed.com. Use code SARGE at checkout there. When Sarge is on deck, yes, salute. GG, son.
And now that you have your eyeballs entertained, let's entertain those earballs. Head on over to badmary.com to support one of my absolute favorite bands. That's right, it's Bad Mary themselves. Bad Mary is back to doing live gigs. If you're in the New York area, they are going to be at Finley's on the Green Street on Saturday, music at 7. But if you're not lucky enough to be able to attend, you can support them financially over on their Patreon, patreon.com/Bad Mary. You can find them on all social media under Bad Mary Band. My favorite part is if you have a music streaming service, guess who's there? Bad Mary. You can listen to all their tunage. Bad Mary, they're awesome. Listen to them. Go to their gigs. Listen to their music. Boom,
Or
sucker.
else.
Or else we gonna get you, sucker.
Or
My
else.
dear brother.
Yes.
My handsome brother.
That's me.
My brother from the same mother. Are you ready for me to start your time?
Allegedly. Go ahead, Charlie, and start my damn time.
Kaboomski.
Because I have a second interview with Cobra Commander. in
Cobra!
half an hour, so I got to get it done. It happens occasionally, but every once in a while, much to my chagrin, regret worms its way into my little heart, black though it may be. And we came out of last week's episode, and I felt a little of that nagging. You kind of left something, like you got to turn around 4 times and check if the door is locked behind you. Like, did I leave the stove on? Am I wearing pants? Like, you're just not sure of anything at that point. So you got to check, you got to check, you got to check. So when I went back and listened to our replay the first time, I unfortunately was right. I did indeed leave the stove on. I was not wearing pants, and the door was wide open, unlocked. I did not give one of the quintessential, nay, fundamental to my comic book fandom, comic universes, superhero universes near enough attention. I mentioned them, but it was like a drive by. I was like the worst of the Bloods and the least of the Crips. I just drove by at like 40 miles an hour, and just these poor heroes that did nothing but entertain me for years. Saturday mornings would not have been complete without these champions of 4 channel TV that we had grown up in Brooklyn. And I'm speaking none other than the Hanna Barbera superhero universe. Again, it was a quick throwaway line. They deserve so much more than that. And damn it, that's what they're getting today. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, monsters of all ages and types. The Hanna-Barbera offerings to us growing up in the 80s was so deep, much, much deeper than any of you suckers have any idea? As Charlie goes ahead and looks him up online, I'll go ahead and regale those who are
I'm
still
so
listening.
young. I'm like,
There,
Hanna Barbera, was that Scooby Doo or?
Charlie's like, Hanna Barbera. That was like she was a rock star, but she like in a wig. She was also just like a regular kid going to school.
No,
No,
she's
Charlie.
only
No.
famous when she has the wig on, John.
Yeah, Hanna Barbera, like she had a mullet sometime. Anyways, so Hanna Barbera was responsible. Charlie, they weren't just responsible for the original,
List
for the
won't end.
original characters that we love and we throw around that have recent starring turns in things like I don't know, Harvey Birdman, attorney at law. Yeah, for you right there on Adult Swim while you're laying in bed, tee-hee-hee, you can't go to sleep because Harvey is up to his shenanigans. No, this had origins. Space Ghost, coast to coast. This is an OG mother sucking dude. You guys don't realize. Matter of fact, as great as Hanna-Barbera was, their studios were pumping out original characters like the Dickens. It was just one after the other, teams and groups, and they were going back and forth in time. Didn't matter to them. They also had their damn way with the first family of Marvel. The very first Fantastic Four cartoon came to you by way of the good folks at Hanna-Barbera Studios, also as well as Nick Kroll, trademark patent pending, also as well as the dadgum Super Friends.
It's unbelievable.
The Super Friends. The Super Friends, I say. Damn it, the Super Friends came out of the Hanna-Barbera studios. Their style, oh yeah, you know, Paul was loving anything with Thing in it, and Hanna-Barbera gave him plenty of it. Look, Hanna-Barbera set the tone for everything that we got thereafter, and obviously as well, you know, I went ahead. I already mentioned Space Ghost, and I mentioned Harvey Birdman. Well, we didn't know at the time his first name was Harvey. But just really quickly, we had Future Quest, we had the Adventures of Gulliver, Adam Ant, Birdman with his little with the trifecta behind him, the Galaxy Trio. They were a goofy bunch, I'll tell you this. You had Charlie's favorite and likeness in the mornings when he hasn't done his hair, Captain Caveman. They like to do the long name. That was kind of their thing. Also, as well as for goofy 90s kids like Charlie, I don't know, maybe like your favorite blue guy with green hair,
Earth,
Captain Damn Planet,
Wind, Fire.
Let me tell you,
With your powers combined, including Haji's shitty one, Captain Planet.
poor Haji boy.
We're
Captain
the Planeteers.
And the
You
Planeteers.
could be one too, because fucking up evil is the shit we do. Is that the song? Did I remember the song right?
I mean, I'm pretty sure no, but that'll probably help us out in the long run with the eventual lawsuit that's coming our way. But also as well as they were, a lot of people will tell you, while they were technically first to market, they were the inferior robots converting vehicles.
Yeah, because Power Rangers is the best. So
Hanna-Barbera was responsible for the GoBots, and I'll be as somewhat of an expert in the topic. I'll tell you, yeah, granted, I'll admit that the GoBots toys were infinitesimally inferior to the Transformers. However, the cartoon, that was also worse. It was trash. It was garbage. But it was still fun to watch. So you also had now we just recently got, actually, ironically, a most recent Scooby-Doo and the Gang turn that also, as well as, had
everyone
the Blue
showed up.
Falcon and damn Dynamite.
I had no idea who they were, but when I saw that movie, I said, like,
but I like it,
dude. It was awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
Falcon
what a
is
good
no
take.
joke.
And like
Blue-
this new, like, Honestly, I left the Scooby-Doo movie being like, let's fucking reboot this shit I didn't know existed with his like idiot son and Dynamite kicking ass. He's
Those
a
are the
dog
best,
who's also as well as a robot, but also
dude.
as well as a superhero.
Dino Mutt. Well, let me go ahead and say this, just for anybody who's paying attention. It'll be good for the
Just
quiz later.
sprayed me in the face.
Scooby Doo was like
Ray,
the
Rojiru.
template for every dog animation that these damn sons of bitches put out. Like the goofy cousins that like had a
Scrappy, Lappy, and Flappy.
dude, it's unbelievable. Like every dog looked like Scooby Doo. How can you tell? Oh well, one's brown and one's gray. Oh, this one's also as well as a robot. All right, that's cool. That's fine.
I
But
presume they were all Scoobies. Scooby like
yeah,
Scooby snacks and unprotected sex.
dude, when you get that stat high in the mystery machine with hanging out with Shaggy all day long, sometimes things happen, bro. Sometimes things happen. Not even DC could slow down. Oh my man, Scooby Doo from getting down. But when the mystery machine is a rocking, don't come a knocking for Scooby Tree. So again, I mentioned Fantastic Four. You also had Frankenstein Jr. and the Impossibles. That's right, dude. The Impossibles were to superheroes as the monkeys were to the Beatles. Freaking hilarious. You had Galtar and the Golden Lance, Gravity Girl, the Herculoids. Now the Herculoids did get a little bit of love the last episode, and again, rightfully so. I was talking about Kazar and the Savage Land. Freaking Hercules, like, hold my rhinoceros that shoots molten flaming rocks out of my face. The Herculoids were no damn joke.
Hold my.
Yeah, that's right. So obviously, coming up in the 80s, the kung fu craze was in full effect. They had us all walking in the streets of Brooklyn and Queens wearing like straight plastic bottomed kung fu slippers. They were like $2 shoes that our parents were like, if you want them, okay. The tetanus is up to you, buddy. But yeah, so Hong Kong Fu had a lot to do with that. I mentioned the Impossibles. Yeah. Johnny Quest. Johnny Quest is the type of source material that gets parodied, and people are like, oh, I love that. Oh, I freaking that shows a parody of everything basically that came in pop culture. But Johnny Quest is the original racist ass cartoon, but I loved it. We had Meteor Man, who was part of the Galaxy Trio. Moby Dick. This is my favorite pairing.
You're like learning?
Cartoon. Oh my god. No. This was one of those combinations where you're like, oh yeah, I like that. What? Like there were certain team ups that these shows in the 80s had. You're like, no, those don't go together. That's like a broccoli and peanut butter sandwich. The hell are you doing? So you had Moby Dick. All right, big fish, fine. Call me Ishmael. With the mighty Mytor. What? The fuck? Because Mytor was no joke. Just big, caveman, had a magical club, horns coming out of his head like he was part of the damn the fraternal league that Flintstone was in. Unbelievable. What the hell does he have to do with the whale?
In their defense, that was the year after the very, very successful Aretha Franklin and the Wax Museum. Like, it's just
unbelievable. You had Samson and Goliath. Look, those are two great tastes that go together, like by design. You had Shazam with an N. Don't get it twisted. Obviously, I mentioned Space Ghost, Space Ghost recently got the serious treatment by DC. The art was fantastic. And I love me some Space Ghost. He's like a can't miss. It was truly like listening to an 8-year-old tell you a story. You're like, oh wow. Oh, and they said what?
And then he had the beams.
Boy. It was the goofiest backstory. You're like, what? What are you doing? But the art was fantastic, and I love Space Ghost. Just like Charlie, I'm always gonna love him no matter how goofy he gets. Didn't care. That was your
Ninja Turtles 3 movie.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
just
that's
like,
right.
what the fuck's happening?
I'm like, oh, sure, they went back in time. All right, that's fine.
How
That's
come
fine.
everything looks like shit? All right.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Oh, I can actually see their eyes like behind the mask because they didn't reset. No, it's cool. It's cool. It's fine. Did I even mention Vapor Man? Because I meant to. And then you also had Wonder Wheels. Now, I'm not gonna go into the super the annals of my memory when you're talking about all the crazy things that were created for the Super Friends. Because look, Super Friends when it initially rolled out was basically like the same lineup as like the Mormons. You had to live all together in the same place, and everybody was white. Everybody looks the same to the point where like basically only Aquaman fits into the aesthetic that we're looking for because he's like, he's like Hitler's poster boy, blonde Aryan son of a bitch.
Oh
But
no.
that all being said, eventually enough angry letters were written by Queen's mothers that they're like, all right, we're gonna go ahead and add in some little bit of flavor into this mix. Now, ironically, I don't know if it was by design or accidental racism. It is what it is. Uh, all of our now brownish characters that were added to the fray were in some level of undress. I don't know why. I don't know what the hell was going on, what they were thinking. Like, all right, yeah, we'll give you an Asian character. No pants. He's got to basically be wearing a diaper. That's fine. And you know what? It'll be fine because sometimes he's like a tornado at the bottom, so you won't even know. It'll be cool. It'll be cool. Oh, you want a Hispanic character? That's fine. We're gonna name him after a place, right? That's like if John Rivera was a superhero, he'd be New York. Oh no, it's New York. No, that makes no sense. In any case, no shirt from a man El Dorado. Black Lightning because any black superhero has to have the word black in the title, otherwise no one will know he's black.
He's the black red ninja. Like
I
what?
guess you're watching, you're listening to Super Friends on the radio because otherwise you wouldn't know. But and also Apache Chief, just a vest open, just like he pulled a shift at the casino. He's like, well, this is what they make me wear. It's embarrassing, but I can get really big. Honk, honk. Hey, Catwoman, why don't you come over my way? Because I'll do you right. But that all being said, they
Don't leave Vibe out of this. Don't you leave Vibe out of this conversation. Say his name. Say his name. Don't you disconnect and leave. This gag better be worth it. It's definitely not going to go back on. You have just left the show, and it's all me now. Vibe, the greatest half-dressed character in all of Hanna Barbera. John 100% broke the mic. You're going to have to change your settings. No one hears you. No one's going to hear you. You have to go into your settings, and you have to reactivate your mic now.
You can hear me.
I hope the gag was worth it, you beautiful, beautiful monster.
There was no gag. I meant every second of that walkout. Vibe stinks, and Vibe certainly was not part of the Hanna Barbera greatness that we were speaking about. But
yes,
Charlie, I have to ask. I have to ask you. I have to ask you, as the fetus that you are, now knowing the greatness that was the Hanna Barbera superhero verse. And you kind of alluded to it a little bit prior, but if we had to dust off these little four-color champions and throw them up there on the big screen once again, or even like an HBO Max, or pick your streaming service, I don't give a damn. Who of that deep roster of champions would you like to see potentially throwing fisticuffs against the baddies again?
Well, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to give you a chance to check your settings, because it's definitely coming from your headphones now. I'd go SWAT Cats, because I was alive when it was on air. No, although SWAT Cats is Hanna-Barbera, and it's excellent. Honestly, and this, again, it sounds like a bullshit answer. I have to go one of two roads, and I'll love them both equally. Of course, Captain Planet, I'm desperate for them to do a new series of, or live action. I just feel like the time's right. There's all sorts of polluting assholes let's have a blue-skinned, green-haired guy, also half butt naked, kick some ass with his favorite buddies with their magic rings. And again, Haji, your ring stinks. I'm sorry.
Can we do for the Charlie reboot? Can we do like a Michael Keaton situation where now all of the Planeteers have aged up?
Yes. Not only can we do it, I want my Captain Planet to now have like long hair and like a beard. Oh God, let's write this movie. Let's end this show early.
What if Captain Planet has like male pattern baldness and he's got to pull a Hulk and wear like a Hulk Hogan and wear like a bandana?
You know what it is? He has the bald spot, but he's ashamed of it, so he does like a half bun. So the hair's still like out, but he like ties it up over the knot. But like, you know it. You see it.
The hair's all gone white. So he's like dying green in one episode. He's like, oh, close the door, close the door.
Haji's like, all right, bro, I'll close it. But like, we know, we assumed your white pubes are all over the place. Or I cannot believe that with the ridiculous, loud, colorful, absurd cartoons that are rotting children's brains worldwide. Come on, Captain Caveman. Captain Caveman would absolutely fit on any lineup right now for kids.
Captain Caveman is like the superhero, precursor to Cousin It. Like, you want to talk about boxes. Crossovers, and Ellis raises an interesting point. He says that the Wonder Twins were brown. No. Yeah, Ellis, I mean, technically, if you want to make like an alien species be your brown representation, that's fine. Yeah, they got Vulcan ears and all that jazz, and there might be something questionable going on with those purple-clad son of bitches. But I will say this: don't forget that they were the follow-up to the young Super Friends juniors, another Scooby-Doo looking ass dog, and Martha, I think, was the one. Marv, Super Marv, and I think it was Martha, another Martha. But in any case, yeah. So Super Friends initially had a young woman, and their cringy Scooby-Doo-esque dog at first. Because look, Hanna Barbera is like, we have a formula.
We have the animation cells. We could just color over, like anyone can recolor.
Also looked like Scooby. It was unbelievable.
It also like runs like very scared, but into action.
Always petrified of everything. Damn. Like, come on, man. Clearly you were spayed or neutered before you joined the squad.
Not to add a third answer, but if DC really wants to wow me with their multiverse, have Flash show up in the fucking Super Friends live action universe.
Oh my God.
Just
if you have an
grins.
Animated Ezra Miller, I would stand up and I'd stand up and applaud. I would stand up again and plug my mic back in at the theater. I'll bring it with me, just with the possibility that they might wow a currently unwowable Jon.
If they are listening, and they probably are, we're kind of a big deal. I will say this: you really want to prove you're going to have some goddamn fun with your DC cinematic universe? Look at me, DC. Look deep into my eyes. Animate Ezra Miller. Have him show up on Super Friends. How fucking great would that be?
He's basically a cartoon now.
That's true.
You don't even have to go that far.
He would be too subtle. Everyone would just ask him if he was depressed. They're like, what's the matter, chum?
Is that a hot dog in your pocket? Or it is a hot dog? Cool. Pretty gross, dude. Pretty gross.
Even the Super Friends version of Batman would go down on Catwoman. I think what's amazing about
animated Catwoman, just with dominatrix purple and green outfit.
Jon, breathe. You're on air. Breathe. Jon's dream girl was drawn bad. She's not bad. She was just drawn that way. No, sincerely, I think what is amazing about that tremendous list, and I'm not even fucking kidding when I say SWAT Cats, for those of you who didn't see like Hanna Barbera's Last at Bat, SWAT Cats was a beautifully animated show, had a rockin' theme. It was like Top Gun with fucking SWAT Cats. Like, if you just made that shit people, everyone would be like, you guys remember that SWAT plane show? It was awesome. For some reason, every problem was caused and solved by a jet. But regardless,
Sure.
it was just the goddamn bee's knees. I think
that was
among
like
that
mid
list,
'90s, so that was Charlie's.
yeah, I
That was
literally
right
was
in that
like,
sweet spot
yes.
for Charlie.
I needed a replacement for real Ghostbusters. And they were like, what about Cats with Attitude? You like turtles. Those turtles are fucking jokes.
I'm
We're
gonna go
goddamn
ahead,
cops.
and my writer allows my insistence about certain things in order to go ahead and get your crappy project screen. I mean, great project greenlit, Charlie. So I will go ahead and give you my demand to go ahead and get that project greenlit. I demand a new character being introduced into your SWAT Cats project. I need him to be kind of like more of an elder statesman. I'm gonna guide you guys back. Like clearly, the SWAT cast went awry, since we last saw them mid '90s, and they needed somebody to come in and kind of stabilize the ship, so to speak. I want a new cat, probably on the short side. I want him with one fang dead square in the middle, and I want him voiced by none other than Scientology's own king, Tom Cruise. That's the character that I need added to your SWATcast projects, and I will give it the stamp of approval.
Done. In fact, because we've waited so long for it, if they want to re-edit Top Gun 2 to have it involve the SWAT cats in some way, I'm down for it. Now, my question is this. If Tom Cruise voices the Tom Cruise SWAT cat, we'll call him, I don't know, what's a cool call sign? We'll just call him Maverick, for argument's sake, Maverick Cat. No, you can't sue me because I added the word cat to it. That's how the whole show works.
Cat with a K, bro.
Exactly, because they're fucking cool. That's how. Illiteracy is
Cool
cool.
with a K, bro.
Illiteracy is cool. We all know that. My question is, would he allow a toy to be made of his animated counterpart? Because he doesn't allow Tom Cruise toys. But could you get away with, like they have the jet from Top Gun is now an action figure. Could we get animated Tom Cruise cat? You're his friend.
I'll allow it. You know what? When we talk, I'll have him take a seat on the yellow couch. And
next time you're having your like readings done and all that goodness, you're like, oh,
look, bro. If you fucking stop me from leveling up because of your bullshit attitude, I will put you on the enemies list so fast. Next thing you'll know, I'll be having lunch with Leah Remini.
You know, the only problem is if they go after my family, it's just you. Like,
yeah, I know.
You're in
I'm
trouble.
like, yeah. I'm like, wait, no, he's cool. He's cool. I'll buy another book.
Tom Cruise
$50?
is like,
right,
Tom Cruise is like, what'd you think about Mummy, John? What'd you think about Mommy? I seen the show. I seen it.
If I can defend Vanilla Sky, I can defend anything. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry.
My brother,
I'm his brother.
CEO of US Comics. Thank you guys so much for joining us this week and every week. If you like it, hit the like button. If you hate it, still hit the like button. Hit the share button.
Shut up about it.
Get people to join us on these wonderful Wednesdays. This week, every week, you get an audio episode in the morning. You get the video. You get the video at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you always get to join us. Ellis shouting out the director's cut of Vanilla Sky because he is also vying to be Tom Cruise's friend. But my dear brother, there is only one way that we end this and every episode of US Comics Cast. Why don't you tell the lovely people how that is?
Oh, it is so easy. First, you got to turn the power on. Then you got to turn the volume up. Then you got to tune Bad Mary in. Open up the window wide and scream out into the night sky. Save me, space girl. Oh, we are.
I see you sitting in the corner. You got your head down. I gotta warn ya. don't you push me in the corner. I got my claws out, not gonna warn ya, not gonna let it go what you said to me. You ought to know you really had it coming. I don't know.
Don't know what the lie is.
I don't know.
Don't know what the lie is.
I don't know.
Don't know what the lie
That
is.
you don't want me to cross. You can't just run away from me. I'm gonna drive you to insanity. You had to know you really had it coming. I don't know.
Don't know what the lie is.
I don't know.
Don't know what the lie is.
I don't know.
Don't know what the lie is.
You don't want me to cross.